Hey y'all, it's your girl Tiara. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I was able to pass my real estate exam on my first try. So if you're interested, keep on watching. This video is a lot different than my past few videos, but I've been trying for the longest to try to start incorporating real estate into my channel. I got my license in November, and then in December I signed to Coldwell Banker, and I've been an agent for the past almost 3 months now. I've been trying my hardest just to film like a kind of intro video, but I figured this one is better than nothing. I've been trying to do a day in the life video of like a new real estate agent, but because of COVID and everything, we're all working from home. So I've been having like all of my trainings, my classes, cold calling, everything at home. So it's hasn't really been interesting. But if you guys are interested, I can maybe film some videos. If you have some ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Get into the mindset of studying. And for me, what I did, I had my diffuser, and before I would study every night, I would use my rosemary essential oil and then my sweet orange essential oil. And rosemary really helps with memory and focus, and then sweet orange is kind of like uplifting, and it would just make me stay focused and alert. That's my first tip. I used essential oils and my diffuser, and then I would just have that going while I was studying. So my second tip is to study every single day or night up to about 2 to 3 months before your test. So for me, I like to study at night, and it's also really good when you study at night because after you're done and you're going to sleep, you're thinking about everything that you were just learning, and then you wake up in the morning and then you still remember it. It gives your brain a chance to soak up everything that you were learning overnight and everything. So studying the night before, and then also give yourself about 2 to 3 months before your test, because being realistic, you're probably not going to be able to study every single night, or you're just going to get burnt out, or if you just have things to do. So just give yourself about 2 to 3 months. And so for me, I would study around 2 hours a night. You don't have to do 2 hours. It may have been like a little bit much, but even if you can only do like 30 minutes one night because you're super busy, or like 1 hour one night, it still really helps because you're still doing it every single night and you're building up that muscle memory. So the study methods that worked best for me, I would watch videos. So my real estate school, they provided pre-recorded videos of their classes that they held in person. So I would watch those, rewatch them. Another thing that I did, all of my notes from when I was actually, going to the real estate school, I rewrote my notes in a completely different notebook, and I would rewatch the videos over again just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, to go over concepts that I may have been a little bit confused about or needed just a little bit more help with. Some other things, you can also make flashcards, read the textbook. I didn't read the textbook like at all. I don't know, it's just hard for me to like take concepts from a textbook. I'm more of like a watching somebody else teach it, presentations, videos kind of learner. I just can't just sit in front of a textbook, read it, and memorize anything. So I didn't do that. But whatever method works best for you, just make sure that you keep up with it. But the two methods that I used to study, I was just rewatching the videos that my real estate school provided. Also, Prep Agent on YouTube, they have so many videos. I would watch those for certain concepts that I just could not get. Practice tests as often as you can. So my real estate school, they provided practice tests. They had about 6 different versions of it. So each time you clicked on one, it wasn't the same exact questions in the same order. They reworded it, Everything was just in different orders. And before I would actually, you know, like take the practice test, I would show all of the correct answers beforehand. I would memorize the question and then memorize only the correct answer. I didn't look at any of the other answers because you just don't want to get that stuck in your brain. And that helped me out so much because when I would go to take the practice test, I would just automatically know what the answer was when I'm reading the question. And also, I wasn't memorizing it word for word. I was memorizing, you know, like the concept of it, so that when I would take a different version of the test, I actually knew the concept and I wasn't just memorizing the answer word for word, if you know what I mean. So I just wanted to show you the real estate school that I went to and then exactly how I studied with the practice test. So I went to California Realty Training, and I'm just going to give you a little overview of how the site looks. They completely renovated it since I last was on here, and it looks really, really nice. So here are all the courses that I took. And then they added in live training. So I guess if you want to add on a training to your courses, you can call them certificates. These are all the certificates of the courses that I had passed. And then going to state exam prep, I'm going to click on practice test. And this is where I would find the practice test. They added in something else. You can choose the number of questions and a time limit. So you can either choose 50 questions an hour, 100 questions 2 hours, but I'm just going to do the regular 150 questions in 3 hours. And I'm just going to click the first one, property ownership and land use controls and regulations, and then take exam. And so here's how the practice test looks like. And I'm just going to hit reveal answer, and it gives you the correct answer. And so I would memorize the question and then memorize the answer, and then below it gives you an explanation. And this is the way that I would study. I wouldn't look at any of the other answers, just the correct answer, because I didn't want to get anything else stuck in my brain. And then I'm just going to hit next question, and this is the way that I studied. I would just hit reveal answer, look at this, memorize it, go on to the next one, and then the timer is at the top, and then it shows you what question you're on, and then when you're done you can hit submit exam, and it'll give you the percentage and tell you if you passed or not. And then still at the state exam prep, they give you definitions, which is really nice, and then flashcards. You can either use it on here or print them out. And then they had a tutorial on how to submit the application. They had a slideshow and then YouTube videos, which was really, really helpful. So yeah, this is the real estate school that I went to, California Realty Training. I highly recommend them. All the courses were really, really easy to understand. The videos were nice, and I would not have been able to pass if I went to another school. Probably this California Realty Training is a really, really good school. If you're in California, you can be anywhere in the state and still go to this school. Number 4, and if you don't use any of these tips, I highly, highly recommend that you do this one. So I would take the practice test, but I would pretend like I was actually taking the real test. So setting a timer for 3 hours, because that's how long they're gonna give you, putting your phone away or having somebody else hold your phone, no water near you. You can't have any water in the real test. You can't even have a bottle of water with you. Having a piece of paper, a pencil, and a calculator right next to you, and just setting that timer, focusing and pretending like you're actually taking the test made me feel like I was in the real exam room, and it just gave me a feel of how it's going to be like on the day of the test. So yeah, if you don't use any of these tips, I highly recommend this. Just pretending like you're actually there, no phone near you, nothing, because when you're actually in the exam room, you're going to, or before you take your test, you're going to have to put everything away. You're going to have to lock up all your stuff, your keys, your purse, your wallet, everything. Can't even have water with you at the desk. And all you're going to have, I took my test at the Sacramento location, and they gave us a whiteboard and a marker. If you have that, it would be helpful to use that, but piece of paper and a pencil, and just actually pretend like you're taking the test. Make it timed as well so that you know how long it's going to take you to finish. I finished my test in like an hour and a half, something like that. And when I was doing the practice test, I was finishing up in about an hour. So I think I took like that 30 more minutes because I was just super nervous and everything, but it just gave me a good gauge of how long it's going to take me to finish the real thing. And my final tip, relax. You are going to run yourself ragged stressing over this test. I literally made myself sick because I was just so nervous. I had like a really bad stomachache even like a few days before, not even the day before, on the day of, a few days before, because that's how bad I was stressing. And I think I was stressing so much because I didn't want to have to take it over again, because I'm just a really bad test taker. Like in high school and in college, I would have to take my test, even just like a simple English test, math test, whatever. I would take mine in a separate room from everybody, not even in the same classroom as everyone, because I was just that nervous. And knowing that I wasn't able to do that for this test, I mean, I probably could have like done an accommodation or something, but I just didn't want to have to push my test back. But knowing that, it just made me so nervous and I just wanted to pass so bad that I made myself sick. I broke out all over my face, and it's not worth it stressing that bad because you're scared that you're gonna fail, because it's not like you can only take this test once and then that's it, you can't ever become a realtor again. You could take this test as many times as you want, and it's not worth stressing so bad over something that you could take again. So relax. I know that this video is also about passing on the first time, but again, you can always take it again. There's people who have taken it 30 plus times and they showed up every single time because they wanted it that bad. And just know that you can always recap of all of the tips that I gave. The first tip, set yourself in the mood to study. I would use my essential oils, and I used rosemary essential oil and then sweet orange in my diffuser, and I just had that going while I was studying. You can use classical music and things like that just to help yourself to just really just focus. My second tip, study every single day up until 2 to 3 months, or every single night 2 to 3 months before your test, just so that you can build that muscle memory and you're giving yourself an adequate amount of time to study before your test. Because the last thing that you want to do is push it off up until like a month before, 2 weeks before, and then you're just cramming your brain with everything, because then that's just on the day of your test, you're just going to forget everything because you haven't been practicing and studying for long, and it's not like really in your brain. Third tip, take practice tests as often as you can and show all of the correct answers beforehand, just so that you can memorize the question to the answer and then memorize that concept. Fourth, taking a practice test but pretending like it's the real thing. So putting away your phone, water, all of that. And then my fifth and final tip, relax. It's going to be okay. If you don't pass the first time, you could take it over as many times as you need to, but just relax and it's gonna be okay. Watching, good luck on your test. Let me know down in the comments below whether you pass or not and which tips helped you out the most. Also, again, I'm a realtor in the Bay Area, California, so if you know of anybody looking to buy or sell, or if you have any referrals, again, I'm going to put my email in the description bar below, and let me know how you guys do on the test, and thanks for watching.